It's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. It is the 23rd of December, which means, it's Christmas Eve. And hopefully we are all, surviving this holiday season however we can. Good morning, JKD Buck and Wolfram doing the Modly Mod stuff. Welcome, Colorado Mountain Girl, Haley Mouse, JKD Buck again, Greedy Bloke. Haley Mouse, if I didn't say hi to you, 80s Music Man, Tammy Bogart, and everyone, good morning. So we have so much crazy news today. I'm feeling semi-human, so let's get into this. Looks like Mark Zuckerberg, allegedly human and not bionic lizard person, has a bunker in Hawaii. So let's see here. Mark Zuckerberg clarifies reports about his bunker in Hawaii. That's just a little shelter. Sure, Jan, sure. Mark Zuckerberg took a moment to address claims that he's building a massive bunker beneath his Hawaii compound. While speaking with Bloomberg, the Meta CEO was asked about the Wired report from last year that found that he would have a 5,000 square foot bunker under his Kauai property. No, as you do. I mean, Hawaii digging into an island, which is basically an unstable volcano coming out of water. Sure, nothing's going to go wrong. Quote, that's just like a little shelter, end quote, he told Circuit's Emily Chang. Whatever you want to call it, hurricane shelter, whatever. I think it got blown out of proportion as if the whole ranch was some kind of doomsday bunker, which is not true. My house is not 5,000 square feet. He also explained that he and his wife, Priscilla Chan's compound in Hawaii is meant to be for ranching. Yeah, because when I think of Hawaii, I think of cattle. Makes perfect sense. Trying to create the highest quality beef in the world. Kauai is really fun, he said. We have this whole vertical integration plan where we're growing macadamia nuts to feed the macadamia meal, and we're brewing beer because it helps them eat more, and that's fun. Why are these billionaires getting into food production? We have Bill Gates who wants to be a farmer, and now Zuckerberg wants to be a rancher. You guys, Yellowstone, I understand it was very popular. I've never watched it. I know I'm turning in my human card immediately. But what? After the news of Zuckerberg's bunker broke, other one percenters follow suit. Those who can afford to do everything they can for self-preservation are doing more than ever in times of escalating armed conflicts around the world and mass events closer to home. It got really busy. It seems like the phone hasn't stopped ringing. World War III seems like it's coming. Ron Hubbard, CEO of Texas-based Atlas Survivor Shelters. Well, at least your name isn't L. Ron Hubbard, but yeah, I'm not trusting a company run by Ron Hubbard of any sort. Sorry, sir, the name is tainted, and I'm not going clear, and I'm not testing my Is it Thetans or midichlorian? I know midichlorian are Star Wars. Is it Thetans? Who the hell knows? Uh, so there you go. Looks like all the rich people are making bunkers in Hawaii to sell cattle that are drunk. Makes perfect sense in 2024. Why not? Why not? In not so great news, but something we should probably cover because it is going to be headline news. A Guatemalan migrant was arrested for setting a sleeping New York City subway driver or rider on fire, then sitting there and watching her basically immolate to death, cops say. So this is, obviously a more politically charged case, but it is a headline and people are going to be talking about it. A Guatemalan migrant has been arrested for allegedly lighting a sleeping subway rider on fire in Brooklyn on Sunday morning, then watching his innocent victim be burned to death in what the police commissioner called, quote, one of the most depraved crimes one person could possibly commit. And thank you so very much, Hey Joe, for your super chat and gift. I am currently in the process of reorganizing my room, which has been in utter chaos. So I need to find my tickets, but I will have a spot where I will be putting the shadow board up uh, on one of my sets because now I will have 3 sets. I know. I'm over here like getting all excited, but I'm gonna have like different sets for different things, and the chalkboard's gonna be there. It's all coming together. I love it when a plan comes together, and I now have candles that won't burn down the house because they're electrical. The savage unaliving, which happened at around 7:30 a.m. on an idling F train at Coney Island Stillwell Avenue station, shocked commuters, MTA workers, and the NYPD commissioner, Jessica Tisch, who said that Sunday was a hideous crime that took the life of an innocent New Yorker. As the train pulled into the station, the suspect calmly walked up to the victim, who was seated in a position at the end of the subway car, and used what we believe to be a lighter to ignite the victim's clothing, which became fully engulfed in a matter of seconds, Tisch said at a press conference. Patrolling cops smelled and saw the smoke, then followed it to the flame-covered woman, the commissioner said. They extinguished the blaze, but the victim unfortunately passed away at the scene. Now, officials say that the 33-year-old suspect came to the U.S. in 2018 from Guatemala. He was detained by border agents in Arizona in June of that year. His legal status wasn't immediately clear on Sunday night. He received a transit summons in May 2023, but his criminal record in New York City was largely clean otherwise. He was living on a shelter in Randall's Island at the time of the infraction. Horrifying video obtained by the Post showed the suspect calmly looking on as the flames engulfed the still unidentified woman who stood inside, an open subway car door. A transit cop walked by and seemed to pull a radio out and say something as they continued down the platform. After the cop passed, the suspect got up as if to walk away, but then the clip cut off. In another video, cops yelled at the gathering crowd, "Did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anything?" as smoke poured from the, subway car. The suspect brazenly sat on a nearby bench as the cops huddled around, pulling his hood up at one point, just before an officer spoke to him. "Do me a favor, walk down there," the cop said, motioning to the platform with his radio. "I need the space cleared up." The man stood up, then left the scene. Unbeknownst to the officers who responded, the suspect had stayed on scene and was seated on the platform just to watch. Gross. The body-worn cameras on the responding officers produced a very clear, detailed look at the unaliver. Later in the day, 3 high schoolers called the police to say they saw the man pictured in the images released by the NYPD at the Jake and York Street station on the F line, according to Tisch and the NYPD's chief of transit, Joseph Galata. Now, transit officers responded to that call, and they found the suspect already on another train leaving the station, wearing the same gray hoodie, wool hat, and paint-splattered pants that he had been wearing when he allegedly committed this act. Cops called ahead and halted the train at Herald Square. Then they went from car to car until they found the suspect and arrested him. Tish said that the suspect had a lighter in his pocket when he was picked up. "I'd like to thank the young people who called 911 to help." Tish said they saw something and they said something and did something. Galata echoed her comments, saying the arrest was amazing work done by the public and police working together. Police do not believe that the migrant or the victim knew each other before this incident happened. Earlier in the morning, cops, firefighters, and the medical examiner personnel, clad in white Tyvek suits, combined and looked around for evidence after they cordoned the area. At around 1 p.m., authorities carried the body bag out, assumedly carrying the corpse, obviously, and placed it on a gurney. Then they wheeled it over to a medical examiner van and moved inside. Now, the woman has not yet been identified, and my heart goes out to the family and friends of this unknown victim because I can't imagine a more horrific, random way to have a family member taken, and for no reason. And I know evil doesn't need a reason, but it is alarming. This is just so alarming, and but as a mom, I try to look for the silver lining. I am so very proud of those teens who are aware, who are paying attention, and who got this crazy person off the street. If those kids hadn't been paying attention, if they hadn't, noticed things, I couldn't imagine, how long it would have taken to find this person. But because those kids were paying attention, you know, we have this guy in custody, and he had a lighter still with him, so I don't doubt that he wasn't done. But that's just my speculation. They haven't indicated anything on that, but, in other news, this is when Skynet takes over, y'all. They got me with, Gronk and being able to make AI music. A wild video, of course, New York Post not ever having the actual video pertaining to the story on the video. A wild video shows drones dive bomb Florida Christmas show crowd. Multiple injuries were reported, including a little boy whose mom says he's clinging to life. So obviously not a great story, but one that you guys probably need to know about. And unfortunately, I have no idea what's going on. Wait, maybe the video changed? Nope, of course not. Drones at a Christmas show in Florida collided midair and were sent careening to the crowd below at a high speed, resulted in several reported injuries, including a young boy whose mother says that he's clinging to life. The Orlando, Florida Fire Department told News 6 that one person suffered minor injury in the mishap. However, two mothers claimed that their son, who was apparently struck in the face by a rogue drone, was left fighting for his life in the ER. Now, startling video shows, things going wrong, but they don't have the video up because New York Post. The holiday display going wrong play out, complete with shocking gasps from the audience and cries of frightened children. At 6:30 p.m., the show, run by Sky Elements Drones in partnership with the city of Orlando, saw the night skies over Lake Eola Park illuminated with hundreds of green and red drones forming elaborate patterns in an elegantly choreographed display. Suddenly, clusters of unmanned craft started breaking ranks, zipping down to the earth without warning. Startling video captured by attendees shows. Now, in one video posted on TikTok, let's see if we can get that video for you guys. I may be able to work things out. Now, since Brave is not my default browser, you won't hear any noise. Oh, I don't want to drag the puzzle. Stop. Okay. No, I can't. Perhaps. Oh, I suck at these things. I am a robot. Yes, I know. I don't want you to verify again. Never mind. TikTok is the devil. I tried, you guys, but I suck. I am, in fact, a robot. That's the problem. Uh, so On the video posted to TikTok, across the lake, a chorus of "Whoa" goes up from the crowd with a young child asking, "What is happening?" as errant drones streak down toward the ground. News 6 said the show went on despite the accident. However, at 8 p.m., the second show was canceled. The city of Orlando announced on X. Now, the city's public information manager, Andrea Otero, told People magazine, "We are in contact with the vendor to determine what happened with the operation. The FAA is handling the investigation." Mothers Jessica Ludmidge and Adriana Edgerton shared a picture on Facebook of their son in the hospital with a bloody upper lip, which is terribly sad. And I don't know his rest of his injuries. Um, but any kiddo getting hurt is obviously upset. "Pray for my son. We went to the drone show at Lake Enola and one of the drones hit him in the face," Ledmidge wrote. "I've never been so scared. I can't believe a drone show at Lake Enola Park turned into this. I'm scared and terrified for my baby," Edgerton added. In another short post a little bit later, Edgerton posted another photo of the child writing, "My baby is going into emergency heart surgery. Off to just watch a drone show. I am beyond words, beyond terrified," the anguished mother wrote. Quote, "The city of Orlando and Sky Element Drones really have some explaining to do. They will be held accountable for what was done to my son. I'm praying he makes it out of this, you know." So hopefully, you know, I hope that this little boy is okay. I hope the other people that were hurt are okay, and hopefully they come out with some answers because, I mean, the display before it went horribly wrong looked really interesting. So, hopefully we can figure this out, and it would also be a way to, not use fireworks. I'm not a big fireworks person. Loud noise, explosions, and things that are dangerous generally just don't float my boat. So I would definitely go to a drone show if they're safe versus a fireworks show. But that's just me. Some people really like fireworks. Y Yeah, Jedi Jess, I am getting, and this is just me, so maybe I'm a little too cynical after watching the news, but it it does seem like the mothers are maybe a little bit more scared, or it might be unrelated. I would like to see more information. I guess I have questions about the heart surgery and things like that. Not that I discount what they're saying, but I would like to have a little more information before I co-sign fully with the mother's story, and that's not because I don't believe the mothers or I believe the city of Orlando. It's because I believe facts and documentation, and I would like to, you know, have the truth of where this kinda came from before I put anything out there. Now, looks like we are going to have a couple less car companies. Nissan and Honda announced plans to merge, creating the world's number three automaker. So Honda and Nissan are coming together. Maybe we can make another PT Cruiser. I'm just saying. I love that car. I know it's hideously ugly for most people, but I'm gonna get a teal PT Cruiser. That's the other thing. I So I will say that once I started a channel, I stopped putting my kids up even on my own private Facebook page, just because I know people can get to your private page, all that stuff. And my kiddos didn't sign up to be on, YouTube, so I don't want to put them out there. But yeah, there are some things that maybe should stay in the family. Let's see. Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan have announced plans to work toward a merger, forming the world's third largest automaker by sales as the industry undergoes dramatic changes in its transition away from fossil fuels. The two companies said that they had signed a memorandum of understanding on Monday, that the smaller Nissan Alliance member Mitsubishi Motors had also agreed to join the talks on integrating their businesses. Honda's president Toshiro Maibi said that Honda and Nissan will pursue unifying their operations under joint holding company, and Honda was initially to lead the new management, retaining the principles and brands of each company. The aim is to have a formal merger agreement by June to complete the deal and list the holding company on the Tokyo Stock Exchange by August 2026. No dollar value was given, and the formal talks are just starting, the CEO said. There are points that need to be studied and discussed, he said. Frankly speaking, the possibility of this not being implemented is not zero. Automakers in Japan have lagged behind their big rivals in electric vehicles and are trying to cut costs and make up for lost time. A merger could result in a behemoth worth of over $50 billion based on market capitalization of all three automakers. Now, I don't know what market capitalization is, but there you go. There you go. Together, Honda, Nissan, and Mitsubishi would gain scale to compete with Toyota Motor Corp and Germany's Volkswagen AG. Toyota has technology partnerships with Japan's Mazda Motor Corp and Subaru Corp. The news of a possible merger surfaced earlier this month with unconfirmed reports saying that talks were on a closer collaboration, partly were driven by aspirations of a Taiwanese iPhone maker, Foxconn, to tie up with Nissan to buy shares from a Japanese company, other alliance partner, Renault SA of France. So, you guys, this is a lot of financially, smart stuff. Toyota. Well, I do try to hide my hillbilly just once in a while. Now, so if you want more, detailed analysis of what this actually means for the automotive companies, again, I pick a PT Cruiser to be my favorite car, so I may not be the expert of experts, okay? Then you'll probably want to go to a more financially like smarty person than me, but this is just giving you a heads up. I really don't know what this means for the market. I have no wisdom to give you. Nancy Pelosi still won't give me her stock tips, even though I continue to send her boob pics to Mr. Mo, which means, I should at least be rewarded with, something. Come on, give me your stock tips, Aunt Nancy. I need to make some money so I can buy more Sailor Moon stuff. So there you go. I gave you a heads up that, they're merging, but I don't really know what that means. I bring you the news. I have no idea what it is. Uh, I have not been outside yet, so I am not sure. I know that it was supposed to be in the 30s. Oh, JKD Buck, I was told graphene by Ian on Tim Pool, so I was just going to go with graphene. From the smoking gun, D's nuts is sentenced for domestic fracas. Well, I mean, he doesn't look like a D's nuts. He looks more like a Cletus to me, but let's see here. December 17th. In a plea deal, D's nuts has been sentenced to D's penalties, a year probation, a $463 fine, and in order to maintain, quote, absolute sobriety, end quote, according to court records. Well, I don't know that complete sobriety is in this man's life goal path, but let's see. D's Nuts Kroll, 43, was arrested earlier this year following a violent confrontation with his daughter and her boyfriend inside their residence in Green Bay, Wisconsin, about 4 miles from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. I did not write that, but apparently we needed to know where Lambeau Field was. At the time of Kroll's arrest, a cop noted that, quote, D's nuts appeared to be highly intoxicated. End quote, and was naked when he brandished a BB force multiplier that resembled a real force multiplier, as you do. I mean, I guess you can't conceal carry if you're naked. He should have said, look, do you want me to put it in my prison wallet? Pictured in the above mugshot, Kroll yesterday pled no contest to disorderly conduct while in possession of a dangerous weapon. Kroll was adjudged guilty of second-degree misdemeanor by Tammy Jo Hawk, a circuit court judge. A misdemeanor battery charge was dropped by prosecutors. In an earlier court filing, Kroll reportedly attended counseling sessions with his 19-year-old daughter. Kroll legally changed his name from Derek Lee Kroll. He does look like a Derek Lee, and you would say Derek Lee too. I mean, as a hillbilly, if you've got Lee in your name, we're gonna pronounce it. To D's Nuts Kroll in April 2011, noting the reason for the handle revision was, quote, I have out I without a doubt hate my name. 6 years later, in September 2017, Kroll petitioned to name change to from I'm sorry, D Nuts, so with just one E, to D's Nuts, because grammar and spelling. Explaining in a handwritten court filing it was not spelled right. Kroll's second name change was approved. But there you go. He's D stupid. Yeah, I mean, he's never gonna be a Mensa member, but I wanna see him use a Rubik's Cube just for my own amusement, which is probably why I'm going to purgatory. In Lord Chippy attendance, thank you. Please come to the front. We've got some gross people ahead. And he's gonna have multiple, contestants today, unfortunately. Quote, "You're a narcissist," end quote. Judge admonishes convicted unaliver for whining about having to attend sentencing hearing. My heart bleeds for you, sir. No, you unalived someone. You have to go to the sentencing. Shut up. Although, sir, you're lucky I'm not a judge because I'd have made you come in a clown costume, okay? A judge in upstate New York cut off a convicted unaliver in the middle of his statement during his sentencing because it sounded too quote unquote narcissistic. Judge Kranick, you could have done this with Sarah Boone at any time. Anytime. I know I'm getting ready to read her whole dissertation, edited and unedited, but dear God, you could have stopped her. You could have stopped her and I would have been good. What recipe will I do today? I can give you guys what I'm planning to make tonight, which is tater tot casserole, one of my favorite casseroles. You'll find that most of my foods are casseroles. I am from the Midwest, but not the part of the Midwest where we call it a hot dish. So it is still a casserole. States or because it sounded too narcissistic and lacked any kind of remorse for unaliving his wife in front of his 3 children. Again, Sarah Boone. Oh, well, I thought that's because last time I was on, I gave a recipe for a Christmas morning breakfast that's pretty easy, and what I was going to make. But true, Lord Chippy. I think it's just the name. I'm going to be honest with you. I know in Minnesota, they tend to call it like hot dish, but I think it's just a different way of saying casserole, but I could be completely wrong, so take that with a grain of salt. State Supreme Court Justice M. William Bowler on Friday sentenced 47-year-old Adam R. Benningfield to 25 years in prison, the maximum prison sentence for a second-degree murder. The jury convicted him of unaliving 30-year-old Kiaria Benningfield, also known as Kiaria S. Huston. Adam Benningfield slammed his pickup truck into his estranged wife's car around 8:30 a.m. October 5th, 2022. In the area of Richlawn and Shawnee Avenues in Buffalo. After the crash, the suspect walked up to his wife's car with the 3 children inside and blasted her with a long-form short force multiplier. This man walked up to his ex-wife in front of his children and blew her away. What an unrepentant, festering boil on the taint of humanity that must be lanced. Let's be real. That's trauma that those children are never going to. They are gonna wake up in a cold sweat remembering that. You can remember the sights, smells, and sounds, and they have no way to process that. It's hard to process, trauma as an adult, and he sentenced all 3 children. Send him to me, I will send him to Lord Chippy, let's get real justice going. I swear to goodness, if I were physically fit, I'd be Batman. Well, actually, I'd be Poison Ivy, but a good one, because I'm still gonna be a redhead. In fact, I go back to the salon today where they will fix this, allegedly, because this is in no way the same color. Really? Her 12-year-old daughter, the oldest of her children, testified during his 3-day trial, the Buffalo News reported. The jury chose just 1 hour to convict the estranged husband, the Erie County District Attorney's Office said in a press release. Prosecutors asked for the maximum sentence. Quote, he deserves every minute of it, said Erie County Assistant District Attorney Colleen Kern Gable. He did not learn his lessons from his conviction in 2000, and he takes no responsibility for his actions whatsoever. Adam Benningfield had previously served a 15-year prison sentence for the armed kidnapping of 2 women, including an ex-girlfriend, local CBS affiliate WIVB. Okay, sweethearts, baby children, come here to Mama Mo. Now, I understand life after lockup, love after lockup, and I understand everyone needing a second chance. But if your prison pen pal is in the joint for, assaulting and kidnapping 2 chicks, him not the guy. He's not gonna turn into Prince Charming. He's not gonna do a Shrek-like personality change. No, leave that world alone. Leave him alone. He is not the fish you want. There are many fish in the sea. Thank you, Swifty. It's more that it's not the same color in the back, so I've gotta get it at least all the same color, in theory. When it was his time to speak, the convicted unaliver showed no remorse, which led to a verbal exchange between him and the judge. Local NBC affiliate WGRZ posted a video of it. Now, I agree we lost someone special, he lamented. I loved my wife, and she's gone. Benfield then went through a litany of grievances, claiming prosecutors withheld evidence and that an all-white jury was biased against him. I don't want to be here, he stated. Bowler said he had heard enough and cut him off, shouting, quote, you're here because a jury convicted you of brutally unaliving your wife, end quote. Benningfield whined, prompting Bowler to go off again. You're a narcissist, the judge said. I've heard enough from you. Benningfield continued to argue, insisting that Bowler hear him out. Hear me out. Shut up, the judge fired back. So there's my dramatic reading. Bowler then kicked Benningfield out of the courtroom and apologized to the family. He said he wished he could sentence Benningfield to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but was bound by the law and sentencing guidelines. Quote, I will give him the maximum because if anyone deserves it, he does, Bowler said. The jury convicted Benningfield of aggravated criminal contempt and 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Quote, this was a callous, cold-blooded murder committed by a defendant who intentionally shot his estranged wife in the head in the presence of her three small children. I commend the victim's daughter for having the strength and courage to testify against her mother's killer. Acting Erie County DA Mike Keene said in a statement after the conviction. And to that little girl, I know you're probably not watching this, but you absolutely are a hero. You were a voice for your mom. And I can't imagine the unbelievable strength of spirit and grace that it takes for a young child to go up and face their own real life monster to get justice for their mother. But I am in awe of you, and you're a hero in my book, ma'am. Little one. Look, I don't know you. I don't want to be creepy, but you did good. You did great. And that is true bravery, class, and dedication. And I'm sure your mom is very proud of you, because as a mom, I'd be proud of my kiddos. Well, do you want a biblically accurate angel on top of your tree? Because they're a bit cray-cray looking if you if you really want a biblically accurate, angel on your Christmas tree. Unnerving, biblically accurate angels top Christmas tree, quote, scary, weird, and speaks to people, end quote. I kind of want to make one now. I have to go to Walmart, and now I really, really want some feathers and googly eyes. That's it. I'm making it. We'll have a crafty session. Angels are typically pictured to be holier than thou servants of God, adorned with cherubic faces and fluffy wings and that kind of thing, the robe, and you ring a bell and an angel gets its wings. I remember getting a bell and just ringing the ever living crap out of it to the point that my mother was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm giving all the angels wings." That's what you get for watching the classics from me with a little kid like Mo. I'm taking care of heaven, mother. The apocalypse will never happen. Yes, I took it there because I was a weird kid. Like I said, my mom was raising an alien child, so I am not shocked that she was completely confused as to what to do with me half the time. But some books in the Bible claim or paint a vastly different picture, much scarier and more alien, that's beginning to top Christmas trees across the US. Reverend Kira Austin Young and her puppet maker husband, Mike Schubach, cooked up the idea of making their own series of biblically accurate angels over the pandemic to relieve their cabin fever. Well, I mean, I learned how to distill my own booze, so hey, if that's what you did during the coof, I'm kind of okay with it. I seriously want one of these now. Quote, I think in particularly the time of the world that we are in, there are things that seem, scary and weird, and having scary and weird angels kind of speaks to people, Austin Young said. The Bible has sparse descriptions of what angels are actually supposed to look like. Many left it up to interpretation, which brought forth the usually white, blonde divine messengers most often seen in churches and Renaissance art. The book of Revelations at the end of the Bible, in some of the books of the prophet of old, or in the Old Testaments, there are a few portions that delve into exactly what God's soldiers are supposed to look like, and they're nowhere near as pretty as the average churchgoer thinks. Quote, some of them have six wings with eyes covering the wings. Others have multiple animal heads, as you do. That's a lot of Christmas trees. I guess we only get one picture of the, real angel. Austin Young said, I think one of the delightful things about the Bible and scripture is just kind of how bizarre it can be and just kind of out there it can be, end quote. Social media and pop culture are full of various interpretation of these biblically accurate angels that have cropped up in drawings as tattoo inspirations and even in makeup tutorials. I must see this makeup tutorial. One of Austin Young's favorite portrayal of the Annunciation, the scene where Archangel Gabriel tells Mary she's going to carry and give birth to the Son of God, is by Henry Owasa Tanner. So let's look at this to see what exactly it is that he. Well, why put the link in there if it doesn't work? New York Post, I blame you. Because Zach is your polar opposite. He is your Flash anti-Flash. Although I don't know if having you 2 in the same chat is good or will cause a nexus of a black hole. So, be careful with that. Do not cross streams. It portrays Gabriel as being little more than a vague shape of light with no distinct humanoid features or even a physical feature at all. It kind of makes you rethink, what would it be like to be approached by an angel? She looked like Roma Downey or Della Reese. I have seen that movie. I love Touched by an Angel. It was on right before Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, and that was our Saturday with my mom. Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, Touched by an Angel, Roma Downey, Jane Seymour, and Sully. I don't remember what his name was, but Sully. If someone you don't know, or if it's a strange creature, or if it's just a manifestation of God's message for you, it could be anything. And MLS, thank you for the super chat, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Happy Festivus, uh, all the other holidays, because look, I don't remember all of them. I know in Enoch, a book that some books are taken out, but I know in Enoch, they have a really odd description of you know, angel too. So the biblical heavens are filled with weird, frightening creature. In the Bible, God has an entourage of monsters. Uh, Hester Hemorrhoy, a professor of the Hebrew Bible at Union Theological Seminary, delineates the key differences between angels and other supernatural species mentioned throughout the Bible, like seraphim and cherubim. So there you go. It shows that people are thinking about ways in which the Bible contains far stranger things than what's often taught. Even though people often confuse God's angels with his other mystifying catalog of creatures, Hemorrhoy is still the fan of an biblically accurate angel trend. About 7 in 10 adults in the United States believe in angels, according to a 2023 poll by the Associated Press. Even so, there has never been agreement on what they're supposed to look like, or even, if they're truly there. I mean, I'm kind of okay with the feather eyeball thing, and since I didn't see one in the last 2 weeks, I think I'm okay. This heifer. I'm gonna have to get an excommunication from the female mother community, because this heifer. A woman covered license plate with tape and paper before fleeing a crash that injured a scene on a scooter crossing the street, cops said. Try that in Indiana, ma'am. Oh, heck to the no. Heck to the no. A Florida woman. Are we shocked? Let's get it out here, y'all. We know what's happening. It's Florida. Whoa, man. I am not shocked. Is behind bars after allegedly hitting a 16-year-old boy crossing the street on a scooter with her pickup truck. After striking the teen with her vehicle, she got out and used some tape and paper to cover her license plate, according to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. She then allegedly drove away. Now, it happened a little before 4 p.m. on Thursday near the intersection of Gage Avenue and Noah Street in Deltona. Deputies said the boy was on a scooter headed home from school. As he crossed the street, the woman, later identified as 37-year-old Sarah Wright of Palm Coast, hit her with her Chevrolet Silverado, deputies said in a Facebook post. After hitting him, she got out and briefly checked on him before hatching a scheme to cover the license tag in an apparent hope to evade authorities. It didn't work. They said that, y'all, it is Deltona. Now, I thought it was Daytona, but I thought that was in South Carolina. Deltona. As I said, I am a grammar, spelling, geography outlaw. Oh, dear Lord. Deputies quickly identified the vehicle, quote, thanks to great witnesses, clear video, and the best technology, end quote. One of the witnesses were able to see a portion of Wright's license plate before she covered it, according to cops. A neighborhood ring bell camera also captured the truck leaving the scene. The victim also gave a vehicle description. Armed with that information, deputies scoured license plate reader cameras and obtained tag information within minutes. Hours later, deputies in nearby Flagler County received information about a reckless driver on Interstate 95. The vehicle was weaving in and out of traffic lanes. A deputy spotted the truck, which swerved across 3 lanes and exited the highway, the affidavit said. Cops stopped the truck after it pulled into a gas station. Wright was reportedly the driver. She said she was visibly distraught and upset and crying, deputies wrote. Now, cops learned that her license was suspended on December 3rd for failing to pay a traffic ticket. Deputies took her to Flagler County Jail on a suspended driving license charge. She has been convicted 3 other times for driving on a suspended license. Volusia County deputies tacked on a leaving the scene of a crash with injuries charge. She has since posted the $7,000 bond. All right, make this make sense for me, you guys. If you can afford 7,000 for a bond, why did you not pay the traffic ticket? I mean, among the douche McDouche things that she has done, if you can pay for bond, why not pay for your ticket so you don't get a suspended license? I mean, I don't claim to be the brightest crayon in the box, but I don't know. A fitness influencer at 43 dies 3 months after he was shot in an LA robbery. Well, he does look pretty buff, except he's wearing the low-cut Converse and or Keds, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Popular fitness influencer Miguel Angel Aguilar has passed away 3 months after he was shot during a Los Angeles, California robbery. He was 43. The social media star, who boasted a whopping 50,000 followers across his online platform on Saturday, unfortunately succumbed to injuries he sustained during a September 13 incident. His fitness brand Self-Made Training Facility announced, quote, "We are deeply saddened to announce the passing of our founder and CEO, Michael Angel Aguilar," the company's Instagram post read Saturday. After a courageous 3-month battle following a tragic incident that took place on September 13th, 2024, Miguel passed peacefully on December 21st, 2024, surrounded by his loved ones. Miguel was more than just a leader. He was a visionary, an inspiration, a mentor, a father, a husband, family, and dear friend to many. He was unwaveringly dedicated to Self-Made Training Facility. His passion for the fitness industry and entrepreneurial spirit have left an enduring legacy, the caption continued. The caption added that Aguilar revolutionized personal training and inspired countless individuals to pursue their fitness and entrepreneurial goals. Is this an MLM? And I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but it sounds kind of like you make personal trainers, this is what it sounds like. I'm completely speculating, but it sounds like you can become a personal trainer. I will teach you, and then you can go make other people personal trainers. At least this is how it seems to be kind of lining up for me. But I could be wrong, and it is still absolutely heartbreaking and terrible that he has passed away, and left this hole with the family, his company, all these people. So I am not trying to say, "Oh, no, he didn't deserve anything that happened. This is a terrible thing," but this does sound a bit like an MLM. As we mourn the loss of our dear friend and leader, we also celebrate his extraordinary life and the positive impact he had on so many. Miguel's spirit will live on through Self-Made Training Facility, the post went on. I mean, he looks like he took his again with the loafers. Y'all, what is these look like my grandma's shoes. I mean, he looks like he works out, like I feel like I'm on Dumb and Dumber. Look at the butt on that one. Yeah, he must work out. Oh, thank you, Palmer Arch Homestead. I was wondering if I was reading it wrong or, that was what was going on. I can't imagine. We will honor his legacy by staying true to our mission and values while continuing to innovate and serve our franchises, trainers, members, clients, and the rest of our current and future self-made family members. Miguel Angel Aguilar, 1981 to 2024. Aguilar was hospitalized in critical condition on September 13th when he got caught up in an attempted robbery in Los Angeles, KTLA reported. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, Aguilar and his wife, celebrity hairstylist Priscilla Vales, were confronted by four armed men in the driveway of their Bel Air home on September 13th. The armed intruders ultimately struck Aguilar multiple times, including once in the face, before fleeing, TMZ reported. LAPD officers were called around 4:30 p.m. that day. While it was unclear that the victim was Aguilar at the time of the ordeal, his fitness company said he was involved in a serious incident and was fighting bravely at the ICU in a post on Instagram. During this difficult time, we ask you for your prayers, positive thoughts, and support for Miguel and his loved ones, and ask that you respect the privacy of his friends and family at this time, the account shared. And I mean, he was a family man, he was a father. These children are, these people that are left behind, their entire world is blown up. The gravity is taken out of things. And it just seems like the most cruel time to lose someone, even if it was maybe not as unexpected because of his injuries. It it's heartbreaking, and having walked through that path, I don't want it for anyone else. The three men have since been arrested in connection to the attempted robbery and shooting, and they now face charges of murder, attempted robbery, and assault with a firearm. Aguilar is survived by his wife and his two daughters. So I hope that this family can find healing and someday remember all the good things, because and not hurt from them. Have them be good memories and have them feel more like a hug than a painful reminder. Well, get your pennies together, search your couch. If you would like a almost perfectly spherical egg, you're going to have to pony up the El Dinero if you want this. An almost perfectly spherical egg has been auctioned for $250. I guess we're late. You cannot make fun of, or you cannot get this egg. It has already been, bought. An egg bought from a supermarket was donated to a British charity and fetched almost $250 at an auction due to its unusual feature that it was, quote, almostly perfectly spherical. The egg was originally found in a dozen bought from a grocery store in Ayr, Scotland. It was purchased by Lamburn, Berkshire resident Ed Ponnell for $187 via auction house Thomas Riddick Callan. Powell, who said he bought the egg on an impulse after having a few drinks. Nicholas, you must now start buying all the weird things on auction. I want to see this sounds like what drunk or tired Mo would buy. Mr. Mo would be like, "Why did we get an egg?" "No, it's perfectly spherical. We totally need it." He did donate it to the Leventus Foundation, a charity that supports young people in Oxfordshire. The charity group sold the egg as part of a fundraiser auction on a website, 32 Auctions. The foundation official Roz Rapp said the auction, which included bidding on dozens of other items, raised a total of about $6,250 for the charity. I always want to say pounds because this is from England, but they apparently Americanized the money. Again, Lord Chippy attendants, we're going to need some help over here. We've got another visitor. This absolute heifer, I don't know, teachers have gone wild. This is what happened when Girls Gone Wild people become teachers. Elementary school teacher who became pregnant and had the baby of the boy that she raped learns her fate. How about shot into the center of the sun? A Tennessee elementary school teacher who had the child of one of her victims has learned her fate. Alyssa McCommon, 38, was sentenced on Friday to 25 years without parole for the assault of a child, statutory rape, exploitation of minors, prosecutors said in a Friday press release. She was also sentenced to community supervision for life on the Tennessee Offenders Registry as a violent offender and was ordered to have no contact with the victim. She will also have her teaching license revoked. Quote, these convictions and sentence demonstrate the continuing commitment of law enforcement and the district attorney's office to aggressively investigate and prosecute child grossness cases in the district, especially where there are minor child victims, said Mark E. Davidson, the district attorney general for the 25th Judicial District, in a press release. We are glad that we are able to achieve finality, certainty, and closure for these victims and their families and the Tipton County community in this case. McCommon gave birth to the baby fathered by one of her victims, and the mother of that victim has custody, Davison told ABC affiliate WATN. Law and Crime reported a disturbing phone call in which she contacted the victim and said she would raise this baby and love this baby, and I'll do it by myself. She had been allowed bond in the child grape case, but was rearrested for allegedly trying to coerce a witness, aggravated stalking, and harassment. This chick raped a young child. If this had been a dude, he would not have gotten bond. Stop it. I understand that women have boobs of great power, but stop giving us all these chances. She is just as gross as, John Wayne Gacy, any of the, gross men that were predators. Stop giving women an out. And I say this as a fallopian tube haver. Now, not all the full fallopian tubes, I have been spayed, but still, as a boobage holder, stop giving women, the benefit of the doubt. We can be just as evil, just as terrible, and stop, giving us privileges that we don't deserve. You wouldn't treat a man like this. Do not treat a chick like this. I am so tired. She is just as much of a monster as any of these gross male teachers that we put out. So stop. I mean, at least Law and Crime finally, didn't call it a relationship or close sexual contact. They actually make it, a crime, for goodness sake. The Covington Police Department said that McCommon used a, quote, specific code word known to the juvenile as a code word from her to previously utilize confirmation that the juvenile was alone, often before sending, nude photographs of herself on Snapchat. In the phone call played in court, McCommon allegedly said, I will never text you again. You will never hear from me again. Just please don't say anything. I'm under so much stress and I'm so scared all the time, the caller said. I tried to tell you, but when it comes out looking like you, we don't have to talk anymore. Just please, God, tell me you're not going to say anything. I'll never speak to you again. While prosecutors in the Tipton County District Attorney's Office hailed that call as damning proof that she was pregnant with the alleged victim's child, the suspect's attorney, Jer Mason, countered by questioning whether prosecutors had proved that it was his client's voice on the call. You've got to go off what is the actual proof. There is no witness that was presented as a victim or anyone like that to testify that this was her, Mason said, according to a local NBC affiliate, WMC. Mason previously said that the defense was frustrated by the, quote, witch hunt on social media. As a mom, the fact that we didn't hunt this chick down with pitchforks and, torches a la Shrek means that you are benefiting from a due process that a lot of moms would be really willing to ignore. You messed with a woman's child. You made him a father at 13. You gross, disgusting person. Witch hunt. You want to see a witch hunt? Because I could come up with some pretty weird things to punish you. If you really want to see a witch hunt, I have been called it a couple times. I am willing to take care of this for you, ma'am. You did not get a witch hunt. You got due process, which, honest to goodness, I have a hard time, advocating for you to get that. But that's how our justice system works. Even the worst of the worst, deserve representation and, fair trial. But you didn't get a witch hunt. You just got people rightfully pissed off at the actual grossness this monster did. Jeffrey Montgomery read in a sarcastic voice. But Mo, she didn't know what she was doing. She graduated school here in the US and was never taught it was wrong. Pretty much. Mason previously, and then asked the public to let the justice system, quote, do its job. McCommon was first arrested on accusations that she had raped a boy 12 years old or younger in her home in 2021, but the allegations went beyond that. Authorities checked and allegedly said that there could be multiple victims that the former teacher befriended by playing video games and interacting with them on social media, only to send inappropriate photos and seek out illicit encounters. McCommon taught at Crestview Elementary, according to Fox affiliate WHBQ. She reportedly joined Charter Academy teaching fourth grade, where she worked until she was suspended without pay on August 24th, 2023. Authorities said that the grape case landed on their radar the day that McCommon was suspended when a parent came forward with allegations. She ultimately resigned from her teaching job. The defendant found herself in even more trouble while out on bond when she allegedly used an unknown phone number to communicate in code with a victim, suggesting that he would, quote, regret doing this, end quote. So she sounds like she has had multiple victims and she needs to stay in jail. Look, we can't trust you around children. I don't want you around my children. I don't want you around any children. So how about you stay there and you don't come out? Now, I just saw this, so we are going ADHD full squirrel, but what in the absolute trap of cray-cray is this? I did not have this on, on my bingo card, but quote, suspicious odors, end quote, and a camel bite leave 1,000-pound sister star banned from a safari park after child endangerment plea deal. I don't even know what to make out of this headline. Amy Slayton, you've done it again. Every time I'm trying to get away from 1,000-pound sisters, you reel me right back into the dumpster fire. Dang it. 1,000-Pound Sisters reality star Amy Slayton Halterman admitted to not street legal pharmaceutical charges stemming from her arrest at a drive-through safari park in Tennessee, where deputies found her in a car with the devil's lettuce. Please reread the headline. Your wish is my command. Quote unquote suspicious odors and a camel bite leave 1,000-pound sister star banned from safari park after charge of child endangerment plea deal. 2024, you flaming inglorious bastard of absurdity. I love you, but you're making me feel weird here. This is not the 2 weeks to try to figure out whether I have a really good, hold on reality. All right, let's see here. I'll start again. 1,000-pound reality TV star Amy Slayton Halterman admitted to not street legal pharmaceuticals charges stemming from her arrest at a drive-through safari park in Tennessee. A drive-through safari park in Tennessee. Okay. Where deputies found her car with the devil's lettuce, some shrooms, and her 2 kids after she called the police to report a camel bit her. What were you doing to the camel? It's not a drive-through hunting park. Like, what? I need to understand this entire thing. As part of the plea deal, she and her co-defendant, Brian Scott Lavorne, were sentenced on Thursday to 2 years probation and ordered to pay $1,000, and they will be barred from the Tennessee Safari Park. A felony marijuana charge was reduced to simple possession, and the 2 child neglect charges were dismissed. Quote, this is the season of giving, and we understand that Amy Halterman, and welcome to the cat butt. For the love of all that is holy. Cat butt. And we understand that Amy Halterman and Brian Lavore are the pride and joy of the state of Kentucky. Amy Wait, the 1,000-pound sisters are Kentucky's claim to fame. That is the that is the export of Kentucky. Like, she's Kentucky's national treasure. Okay. I All right. Uh, Crockett County District Attorney General Frederick Agee said in a statement to Memphis CBS, affiliate WREG, as Law and Crime reported, the incident unfolded at the park where guests can drive their cars and view animals, including camels, up close. The Crockett County Sheriff's Office heading its press release with, quote, "From feeding a camel to the slammer," end quote, and commenting on no ordinary Labor Day nature of the case and its investigation with a beginning with a report of a guest bitten by a camel and led to a car with suspicious odors. The investigation said that shrooms and the devil's lettuce were in the vehicle and the children were endangered at the time. Quote, upon arrival, deputies were immediately overtaken by mysterious and suspicious odors coming from the guest's vehicle. Look, it was White Castle. After 72 hours, White Castle becomes a noxious poison fume that you will never get out of your car. Now, they appeared to identify the car as Slayton Halterman's and Brian Lavorne as a passenger in that particular car. Both were taken to Crockett County Jail on 2 child endangerment counts and, you know, not street legal pharmaceutical charges. Slayton Halterman has appeared on 5 seasons of 1,000-Pound Sisters along with her sister Tammy, a show on their lives and weight loss journey. Slayton Halterman, after losing nearly 200 pounds, became a mother of 2 sons and has said, quote, being a mom is what I've wanted to do since I was 5 years old and I always wanted 2 kids, end quote. But in the aftermath of a divorce last year from her husband and the father of her children, she said the state of her mental health was the worst it's ever been. So hopefully she can get her life back together. I have watched, 1,000-Pound Sisters, and I know that this was her dream. But motherhood is hard, and it's a full-time job. So hopefully she can get herself together. Please turn that off. So hopefully she can get it together because I know this was a big dream for her. And, having children, being a good mom, being a better mom than her mom was a good dream. Why the blue hair? I think that so I don't know the full Slayton sister lore, but I think they started out with as a makeup tutorial channel, possibly like weird shenanigans. No, youngest most feral is hanging out with me because sometimes he can't be trusted and he gets into things he's not supposed to. And after Mornings with Mo, we are going to finish Christmas cookies. So he is like here to make sure he is my parole officer to make sure I get off of here and go start making cookies. we we have left it till late. Usually I do this earlier in the season and just freeze them, but it's been an interesting week. So I will give you guys kind of an update of how I'm doing. I do feel more human, which is awesome. So you're supposed to do a couple series together and then have a top up a couple weeks later. So on the 7th, I will be going back to get another infusion, but then I should be done for a good while. I'm still kind of waiting to see what the effects are going to be because they're not quite sure what ketamine does. I mean, CRPS is not well researched. It's not well funded. It's a fairly, it's a zebra kind of orphan disease. So it's not one of those that has a lot of attention on it. Um, but I will say that I am noticing some differences. I can lay on my left side, which is something I have not been able to do for about 3 years. I can't do it for very long, but I can, lay there for a little while, and since I used to always sleep on my left side, that has been kind of a big thing that I've really missed. Um, I do notice that I do have more lower paying time. The only drawback to that, and I feel like a whiny McWhinerton for bringing it up, uh, is that now that I have these periods of lower pain, when it comes back, it's really hard to shift back into that high pain mode because you do kind of get used to where you are. Uh, I am so sorry you had a flare, and I'm sorry. I don't know if it will work. I don't know how much it will work for me. And Captain Kern, awesome possum. I'm 4 days in on Wegovy, and I've dropped from 298 to 283.7 as of this morning. The bad part is I have no appetite to eat at all, and I need to force myself to eat. Now, I will say I'm on Wegovy as well, and I have taken to having protein shakes around because, uh, I do tend to get really busy and don't wanna take a break to eat, but I also know that I'm not hungry and don't really wanna eat anything. So I have tried to have more protein shakes around, good one or good ones. Now, here is my recipe if you need something quick and easy for dinner. It's not super creative. I did steal it from, I think, some TV show once, but tater tot casserole, um, is ground beef or ground turkey. You take 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of cream of mushroom. Now, I do not like mushrooms, so I blend that up because I don't wanna have little mushroom chunks. Those things are the devil and gross. Uh, Chopped onions. So put all the meat, the onions, and anything else you want in there. You can add green peppers if you wanna make it a little different. If there's vegetables that you know your family likes, if they like mushrooms, which, mm, then you don't have to blitz those. So ground beef, onions, whatever you wanna put in the meat mixture on the bottom, frozen tater tots on top, pour the liquid mixture of the evaporated milk and, mushroom, cream of mushroom soup on the top of that. Put some cheddar cheese on there, bake for about 45 minutes on, you know, 350, and you've got yourself a really good meal. I love it. You can add bacon to it. You can, make it a cheeseburger, kind of casserole. You can do a lot of fun things. You can make it a nacho one. I've done that before. Just, the meat, use taco seasoning and, that kind of thing. So you can play around with it, but it's definitely one that my kids will eat and I will eat. I don't know. I will tell you, my husband did learn that there is a difference between sweetened condensed milk and evaporated milk when I wasn't feeling good the last 2 weeks. I started a soup for him and I said, "Just put a can of evaporated milk in it and it'll be done." Well, poor Mr. Mo put a can of, sweetened condensed milk in there, and the, savory soup ended up being not so great. So there's your tip for the day, you know, tater tot casserole? Any hoozle, there's your tip for the day. Sweetened condensed milk and evaporated milk are not the same thing. Now, there won't be any nightly newsy news tonight because I am getting this, whatever this is, taken care of. I understand. It is completely and totally just hair. I only have 90 bajillion wigs, but I would like to at least, have my hair be all one color. Yeah. Anyhoozle, I am gonna be doing a noon stream, a boozy noon stream. We are going to try this again. We are going to try Sarah Boone's unedited rant fest letter again. Hopefully, I will have been, cookied up. We will have gotten everything done there, and I can, start working on more Christmas stuff in the meantime. But yes, if you guys would like to come back to that, I will be doing a noon Sarah Boone, and then there should be more videos. Keep a pin in. Well, I'm gonna be making cookies and helping people decorated, so cookied up. Just lower my resolution. But there you go, and keep a pin in. Nick and I are going to be working on a stream because there are some interesting developments. Well, not really developments, but things that are coming out into kind of common public knowledge about the Delphi case that Nicholas and I had covered previously, and I will be making a little standalone video with sort of linked videos. But there are real questions that are coming out. Law and Crime. Vinnie Politain had an interview with Bob Mata, and I am blanking on her name, but there are some startling revelations that are coming out to people that really did not get engrossed in the case. So we will be talking about those. Uh, and if I don't see you guys, I will probably do a mornings with Mo tomorrow. Probably not anything on Christmas, but have happy holidays, have a happy Christmas. Merry Christmas from your mama Mo. You know, enjoy this time with your family of friends. Reach out to your family and friends. I think we've all gotten collectively a big wake up call to really reach out and let people know how much you appreciate them, you know, how much they helped you, things like that. Let's not leave things unsaid. Let's not regret going into this new year. The praises and things that we should tell people that are in our lives, in our circles. Let's do that as a really good tribute to Jeff. I think that's kind of how I'm going to honor Jeff going forward. You know, when I have a thought, when I want to express to someone how much they mean to me, to go ahead and let them know, just drop them a note and let them know because I didn't with Jeff and I do regret it. And, everyone needs to know how much they mean to other people. And I think we kind of lose sight of that sometimes just in the general busyness of life. So that is my Oprah moment. I will be sending y'all out of here. You are free to go wherever on the interwebs you want, Mama Mo says. Just make sure if you are on one of the hubs that explain how stepmothers get stuck in wash machines that you are on incognito mode. Bye, you guys.